I absolutely hate this fight. I hate that it's being pushed for. I hate that coward behavior can be rewarded like this, man. Come on. Jon Jones ducked Aspinall for 2 years straight. He literally made Aspinall defend his interim belt. They said he was gonna fight Aspinall after the Stipe fight when Jon Jones clearly didn't want to smoke at all and literally chose to retire instead of fighting Tom. And now there's a chance he might get a super fight with Alex P. Like, hasn't the UFC learned its lesson yet? And don't get me wrong, I'm one of Alex P's top G's, top glazers. So I understand that a Jones fight would be huge and Alex Pereira would get paid a lot, but it's just not a good look for the sport to give the super fight to a guy who ducked and retired from the sport out of fear from having to fight as interim champion. Especially when you consider that the alternative might be Aspinall versus Pereira, which is an absolutely sick fight. The best heavyweight in the world versus the best light heavyweight in the world. They both have crazy power, and there's also the fact that Pereira has the chance to become the first fighter in history to hold a belt in 3 different weight classes. And to me, that's just bigger for the sport. And even though I think Jones versus Pereira would be bigger in terms of popularity due to Jones being a bigger name than Aspinall, Pereira versus Aspinall is still very promotable, but that is where the problem comes in. The UFC has done such a horrible job of promoting Tom Aspinall. Aspinall is an absolute gem of a fighter. He's literally finished everyone he's fought in the first round, and this guy's had a similar run to a young Mike Tyson. This guy's sparking everyone out cold. He's the most dangerous man in history when it comes to hand-to-hand combat, so why haven't they promoted him properly? Well, first it comes down to the fact that the UFC are garbage when it comes to promotion in general nowadays, but it also comes down to Jon Jones. The UFC wants a Michael Jordan or LeBron James. Like, I don't really know who's the GOAT of basketball, okay? I'm European. We don't watch basketball here. But they want to be able to say that the GOAT of MMA fought in their organization. And it's widely agreed upon that Jon Jones is the GOAT, even amongst casuals. Like, I remember talking to some of my friends who barely watch the UFC, and one of them randomly just said, man, Jon Jones is the GOAT, man. And they don't follow the UFC, like, they don't know who Tom Aspinall is. So in the eyes of the casuals, Jon Jones is still him. They still think he's that guy. They still think he's the most dangerous man on the planet, man. People forget, man, his calves are made out of mahogany. Like, these casuals don't know he ducked Tom Aspinall, okay? And the UFC don't want the narrative that their quote-unquote GOAT is a duck who ducked his interim champion. But I honestly think you can turn that around and use it to promote Aspinall. Like, this guy is so dangerous that he made the GOAT retire out of fear. But they're not doing that because they don't want to tarnish the image of Jon Jones. But we're also getting to the point where we have other guys in the sport that are getting close to overtaking Jones on the GOAT list. Islam Makhachev, Ilya Topuria, Volkanovski, and even Merab. So I don't know why the UFC is so reluctant when it comes to promoting Tom Aspinall. And another benefit to Aspinall versus Pereira is that the winner of that is going to become a superstar who actually sticks around in the sport. And that's just way more beneficial. And even if Jones wins, he still wouldn't fight again after that because he knows Aspinall would be next in line. So in my opinion, there's only one good thing about Pereira versus Jon Jones, and that's the fact that I think Pereira actually beats him, okay? And that's not a hot take. Pereira absolutely destroys him in the stand-up. It's not even close. Like, even against plotty old man Stipe, he was literally turning his back and running away from boxing exchanges. And if a 40-some-year-old Stipe is able to outbox him, imagine what Pereira would do to him. Like, I know I'm MMA mathing a little, but Jon Jones just doesn't stylistically match up well against Pereira on the feet. He's not a speed maxer, he doesn't have good boxing, and he doesn't even have power in his hands. And you look at who Pereira has had trouble against. It's against Roundtree, super fast and explosive. It's against Ang, fast hands and good boxing. And Jones has neither of those. And when you look at Jones' stand-up game, it's mainly kicks, elbows, and knees. And he's always had a weakness to boxing. Like, he doesn't know how to defend unless he pokes his opponent in the eyes. So if Pereira closes in and takes the fight in the boxing range, Jones is gonna be in some very big trouble. And even when it comes to the kicks, I think Pereira has an advantage. Like, he's just overall faster on the feet. He has better leg kicks. And you can't tell me those mini calves wouldn't get absolutely destroyed by Pereira's calf kicks, okay? Plus, it's easy for Jones to land spinning back kicks, teeps, and body kicks on a stationary target like Stipe, but he's not just gonna be able to throw them out there and land on Pereira. Because Pereira's constantly moving around, he's making reads, and he can actually punish you with kicks himself. So that only leaves Jones one option, and that is grappling, and this is the thing that's been haunting Pereira ever since he got into MMA. He has a background in kickboxing, and he started grappling very late, and everyone always say he can't grapple at all. As soon as he gets to the ground, he's absolutely cooked. I don't really think that's the case anymore, and I think we first saw that when he moved up to light heavyweight. He was able to survive with Blachowicz on his back for an entire round. He also did a decent job defending on the ground against Jiri in their first fight, and in the first fight with Ankalaev, he defended every single takedown, so it's become very clear that he's become a very good defensive grappler. I would even say he's better than Stipe defensively. But Jon Jones does have very good grappling, and he is capable capable of taking him down. However, I think that will be very difficult, especially when you consider that Jones is going to have to close the distance on Alex. That means he's going to have to move into a distance where Pereira can hit him with punches. So I definitely pick Pereira in this fight, and I think a big factor is the striking. Jones just isn't as dangerous as someone like Aspinall, and he doesn't have the speed to be a threat either. And even when it comes to his best weapon, his kicks, Pereira mogs him. And getting outboxed by old man Stipe is just a very bad look too. And all respect to Stipe, but he did not look sharp in there. And I think if old man Stipe can tag him with his boxing, Pereira is definitely able to as well. And if Pereira lands, it's gonna be a lot more consequential than if Stipe lands. And I don't think the grappling is enough to go off of, because Pereira is very hard to take down. And although he hasn't really shown an ability to get back to his feet, he has shown to be very good at surviving on the ground. And I know I mentioned in my Aspinall video how he doesn't need to get the takedowns, he only needs to attempt them in order to make Pereira more hesitant on the feet. However, I think that's a little different because Aspinall is actually able to capitalize on that with his speed and boxing, which is straight up deadly. Like if he catches Pereira clean, Pereira is going out. Jones, however, has pillow hands, and looking at his last fight, I've come to the very complicated conclusion that he's just slow and plotty, okay? So unlike Ankalaev or Tom, I don't think he'll be able to pressure Pereira, and that's another major factor because Pereira fights very well going forwards, and Jones lacks the speed and power. He lacks that danger factor on the feet. So I think that Pereira is going to be walking down Jon Jones in this fight, absolutely destroying those mini calves, okay? And Jones is going to be using his long eye poke guard, trying to keep Pereira outside of boxing range, and it's not going to work because Pereira is going to slip past the eye pokes and light him up with his boxing. And I think Jon Jones is going to try to shoot in this fight, but Pereira is going to successfully defend, and eventually I think Pereira is just going to catch him. I know Jones has a pretty goated chin, but Pereira has that Ilya Topuria kind of power. He has the power to put anyone away no matter how good their chin is. But yeah, Alex Pereira by knockout. There's only one good thing about this fight, and it's that Alex P gets the W. But enough with the yap. I made a video about Alex Pereira versus Tom Aspinall as well. Check it out if you haven't. But anyways, thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe for some of the best yap on MMA YouTube. Am I just an Alex P glazer, or do you agree with my take? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and also don't forget to share this video to a Jon Jones fan if he has any, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye!